So you've come up with a structure for your video, which is great. But what I want you to do now and what I want to challenge you with is to think about how you can make your video even more compelling by injecting some creativity into it. I call these little bursts of creativities the wow factors that come into your video. In other words, how can you create wow factors? And there's 4 areas of wow factors that I would like you to consider. Firstly, how can you create empathy around your challenge and your beneficiary, right? So, if you tell me a story about a beneficiary that I have never met, or I don't know anything about this demographic of people, it can be really hard for me to connect to what you're saying. So, is there a way that you can give me a more immersive experience? Could you tell me a story about a beneficiary? Sometimes some good pitches start with an actual hypothetical or imaginary story of what beneficiary is going through on a daily basis, and then connects that challenge to the solution. Maybe you want to use some stats or news clippings that you show to strengthen the compellingness of your challenge. So think about that. What are 3 ways in which you could tell the story of your beneficiary, tell the story of your challenge? The next thing I want you to think about is how can you, you've come up with a solution, but how can you immerse me in that solution so that I feel it and that I can understand it well? If I was to say, there's this gadget and you can do a lot of things on it, and you can get in touch with people and you can write messages to each other. Okay, cool. You're getting a clearer idea of what it is. But if I was to show you a smartphone and to show you visually like what it does and how it functions, it's a much more immersive experience. In the same way, using the lessons you learned about presenting and working out your MVP, how can you show the different aspects of your solution in a visual way? How can you really capture that? Think of that. How can you show it well? So that's the second one. The third one is, how do you make sure that the audience believes that your idea is feasible? In other words, how do you make sure that you come across as professional? Do you have some figures to back up your idea? Have you already thought about who you will partner with? Have you already made some calls to make a deal? How do I believe that your idea is actually achievable? Are there competitors that you've considered and you can tell me about to showcase why your idea is different from theirs? Think of some of these ways that you can show that your idea is actually going to work. And finally, and this one's very crucial, what is impactful about your idea? So you have your challenge, right? Which you present in the beginning, then you present your solution. Don't forget to explain how your solution has an impact on your how might we, how it has an impact on your intervention area. So go back, in other words, right? So challenge, solution, and then impact on the challenge. So maybe you can come up with some figures. Maybe you can say, through this, we're hoping to help X amount of people, or, this solution can be replicated in other areas, and give me some ideas of why it's impactful. What are the specific intervention areas that it takes care of on your issue tree, for example, and how does it take care of that? What does your product or service or project actually do to take care of that? So come up with some creative ideas and then go back to your structure and tweak your structure to inject some of those wow factors into it. And if you've done those 2 steps, if you've come up with your structure and you've created a few wow factors to inject in the structure, you'll have a more compelling video and you'll be kind of ready to start shooting it.